back to my work. My name is Yamaneto, and this is Velez's Anecdotal Tales. Thank you for joining me in the final part of the gaming saga. In the comfort of my own home, I might add. Compliments of our furry little friend, Karma. So, without further ado, now that we're back in our home, we can get to the storytelling the old-fashioned way, which means no cards this time. We're gonna do this by the books. I have a pretty good feeling that this is gonna be a very good story. So, let's allow these games to come to their inevitable conclusions. Video games and card games have given the thrill of gaming to everyone around the world, no matter the age. Now, it is time to take a journey to the third and final part of the saga, board games. We shall begin with the contents of the very first one. Many historians believe that the first one was a game called dice, a game that started over 7,000 years ago, long before human language was developed. Discovered in the Fertile Crescent, there existed regions among the Nile, Tigris, and Euphrates rivers within the Middle East, and these regions were known to have many types of pieces, some in the form of sticks, others in stones, and yet others in bones or animal parts, namely turtle shells. In Turkey, Iraq, and Syria, the countries that were once a combined civilization called Mesopotamia, the land between two rivers, the four-sided stone dice and the sticks were used for those games. Fast-forwarding through Earth's time, another game was known to exist among the ancients, Senet, a game that dates back over 5,000 years ago in the land of Egypt. This game was believed to be tied with the Egyptian concept of fate. Although it is uncertain how the rules were played, from the looks of the ancient tablets, it seemed like the goal was to protect territories, capture game pieces, and make your way off the board with all of your pieces in order to win. It was believed that whoever was considered the best player of this game was under the protection of the Egyptian gods, Ra, Thoth, and Osiris, especially when the game itself became a talisman for the journey of the dead. Speaking of gods, eventually some board games began to become tied with religion. Once again, in Egypt, there was another game in ties with the gods, Mahan, named after the protective snake deity. The board was said to circulate into a protective appearance to resemble the role that Mahan played in protecting the Egyptian sun god Ra. The game is still played to this day with different names and styles. For example, the hyena game. The role of that and Mahan involved making it to the center of the board before returning to the start before any pieces got captured. On the topic of capturing game pieces, going into the approximate year of 400 AD, a game called Tafel, invented by the ancients Celtic and Germanic, began the use of a checkers board with two different colored pawn pieces. Sound familiar? This was one of the few adaptable games that inspired the game of chess, invented by the European variety within the 6th century AD, and it is a game that is still played to this day and time. Like chess, the goal of Tafel was to capture the king of the opposing player. As the game spread throughout many countries, including India, the rules and the required pieces differed, but the goal remained common. Once again, we fast forward through time to the year 1903, where we come across a board game that, like the ancient ones before, serves as a predecessor, the Landlord game. invented by a woman named Lizzie Magie. The board was constructed with 4 railroads, a jail, utilities, and a star corner that read, "Labor upon Mother Earth produces wages." Yes, this game is the literal predecessor of the modern game Monopoly. The goal of the game was for educational purposes to show the benefits and the consequences of renting properties from both the perspectives of the rich and the poor. As soon as the game was sold to the Parker brothers in the mid-1930s, not only did Monopoly come to surface, but more games such as Risk, Sorry, Trivia Pursuit, etc. gave rise to more modern board games, each with their own way of testing one's educational knowledge, strategic skills, and luck. I'm gonna need to sit down for this. Sure. Much better. So, Egyptian games. Sound familiar? If so, it happens to be the key reference of my favorite show and card game. Anyway, this tale showcases the importance of taking a proverbial leap of faith, but it may reveal the next step in your path, only once you start taking that leap. A better way to explain it is this. Once you start something, you must see it through to the end or risk never realizing your ambitions. Yes, the 3 tales that I told you from here may involve gaming, but the lessons that they were teaching were intertwined. You have the ability to create something with your minds. When you do, take a leap of faith and take their message to heart. And once you do, you may just realize your creative potential. Just like how when you start a game, whether or not if it's a video game, a card game, or any other kind, no matter what, you must see it through to the end. It is the only way that you can realize your true potential. Just like how Karma realized his true potential when he had found a way to fix the roof. Let's see how he did it. That cat is so going into the devil's shelter when I'm through with him. Back on topic though, the point I'm making is this. Once you do these things, you will realize the skills that you have developed along the way. You will also realize that the only person that stands in the way of achieving to your success is none other than yourself. So, in conclusion, go out into the world and be sure you stay on the path that you've chosen. And I shall see you in the next episode of Velez's Anecdotal Tales. So long.